BagFuel, baby.
Good looking sis. Yeah, nah, like I'm even on like the way here, like trying to get to my studio, which one I didn't like. I was like 40 minutes. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'm
it's
like,
a drive.
And then I'm I'm trying to get to the studio, and none of the clips is going up. I'm like, yo, when it rains, it pours. You know what I'm saying? You try to do one thing, and it's
You talking about for YouTube, Instagram?
Instagram. The YouTube's all situated.
Yeah.
YouTube, I schedule that stuff. Hold on, let me just
Nah, my gram be acting up too. I was telling Esso, like, one time I had posted at 9 a.m. and it didn't go up till 3.
Oh my God, bro. I hate that shit, man. I literally just sit there watching it like, why?
Why?
Like I got 5G for what? I pay all this money a month for
nothing.
For this shit for literally for nothing.
We ready yet? You posting, right?
No, I'm good.
He still didn't get it. He still didn't get his post up.
No, I don't be stressing it like that. I just try to pick the right one.
You know how artists and their management team be. They be like, "Did the post go up yet?" And I'm like, "Yo. I'm having some technical difficulties on my side. Calm down. It's gonna go up. Chill." Like I'm honestly like, like we just all came from Hovain's, service, but God bless I didn't, I thought that I was gonna get bothered that whole time I was in there. I was gonna open my phone to a bunch of messages, but God bless, nobody bothered me. It was great.
That was one of the most star-studded. Yeah, we're good, right, Jay? Yeah, that was one of the most star-studded services, especially in the hood. That's the hood.
Right.
Trust me, people get bodied over there effortlessly. To see Styles P, to see Guru, to see Elliot Wilson, so many others. Wayno was there.
I ain't see hardly none of it. I see him there.
He was there.
I think John pointed out that you were in the back. Yeah. Well, that's because I had my hair out.
I saw Guru. I saw Guru. And
Johnny
I saw,
Shikes was there. Shice Bubs was there.
Shikes. Yeah.
My boy Slater. My boy Slater was there. And who else did I see?
Money Nels was there.
Money Nels.
Yep. Niles.
I didn't even see Banks, bro.
I saw Slow for a second.
It was beautiful.
Nah, it was, and
it was beautiful. It was a beautiful service.
It was when I called my wife when I left there, I said, "Yo, this is like that service was one of the most touching services that I've been to in a long time."
Yeah.
And I'm not proud to say this, but I be going to services. I have a lot of death in my family, but that one it affected me with the kids and everything, and how strong his wife was, and the positive words that she left with and everything. And then when Sycamore asked everybody,
that eulogy was amazing.
Body that, that was incredible.
You know what I'm saying? That the hand up moment was significant for me.
I think even when you look at all the people who, because they gave people the open space to get up and speak, and every person who went up there to say something, obviously, of course, the family said beautiful words.
Absolutely.
Like you're talking about, like his sister, his brother, his wife, but like even everybody else who went up there, including Styles, of course, like everybody had ended like, when everybody ended with a drop the mic type of moment.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Styles joint was when they needed somebody to manage all the rappers
artists,
upstairs.
Yo.
That was
amazing. The line
joint.
was, "Now who's gonna manage all the rappers in heaven?" I think the way he said it.
Yeah.
That's how you said it.
Yeah. He said they needed somebody up there to manage all the rappers.
Yes, that was amazing.
That was beautiful.
And when his oldest daughter started talking, it threw me for a loop because like it's just like, yo, my dad is gone. I'm like, fuck. And then but the youngest daughter came.
And she did the joke.
Oh man, she killed it. No pun intended. But I was like, that's how you close it out, Gabe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, he's had a lasting effect on the music business. Shout to you, Hovain.
Yeah,
on some real, you've been a genuine dude to a lot of people.
Yeah, and to see all the street dudes that I knew through him from since 2009 come, and everybody was just chilling. Fresher came, I was just like, these are guys,
I ain't seen none of these. I ain't seen nobody.
Yeah, Fresher was there.
Fresher, Fresher was there too. Yeah.
I ain't seen
Rory
nobody.
was there.
I think I saw Rory walk
yeah, I saw all of them.
Mouse was there too.
Mouse was there. He was sitting right next to you.
I ain't even.
He had tunnel vision the whole time.
Tunnel vision.
I don't be, when I'm in that type of space,
It's
I
tough.
ain't really looking to see who's there. If I bump into him, I bump into the main one that I definitely wanted to see was Smoke Dizza and Guru. Because that's how I mainly connected with Hovain. We knew about each other, but we didn't connect until that time. So I just wanted to make sure that they knew that we was in the building.
Right. Such an interesting dynamic. You talking about Smoke
respect.
Dizza and Guru being your connection to Hovain, but for me, it was really like Paris Bryant, who was signed to Cinematic a while ago, Slater. It was all through like the younger artists too. So that's cool to see like the kind of the different synergy of like the generational touch that that Hovain had. You know what I'm saying?
Mine was a little bit. It was through. I met him, Troy Ave, and all the street dudes at the same time.
Oh, this was way.
This is way. I'm talking about this 09.
Yeah.
So, I saw the whole evolution of them coming up. And then I saw when Money Nels came in and they decided to work together. And that's when Nels, I remember he pulled us to the side. He's like, yo, I'm not going to be working with G Unit no more. But you see these two dudes, Troy Ave and Hovain, I'm going to work with them. And that's when Troy Ave had the album New York.
Yep.
And with his experience and with Hovain's work ethic, that shot Ave through the roof. Not to say he wouldn't have shot through, but it put it in overdrive.
Well, it's proven then, I guess, that managers can make a difference in
What?
somebody's music career.
Nigga, yeah, you're the example. Don't do that.
Nah, but there are a lot of managers that don't have to do any work. They're just put in a position to maintain, to be what they call the quarterbacks.
How long does that last?
That don't do nothing. It all depends. It all depends. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on the success that somebody grows with. It all depends on the other manager that might sign on to help, because people don't realize that you have a manager, and then sometimes you get a more experienced manager, and then that manager doesn't travel with you, but he helps to connect you with things, and y'all break bread with him. He gets half the fee. So if you get 20%, the other manager gets 10, and the dude that was formerly getting 20 will now take 10.
But the pie is bigger.
It might not even be bigger. You might just need the connection and the know-how to get you to the next level, to get to the big pie.
Right. Also, you need a manager who, like, managers got to be patient. You know, like, I feel like when you look at, like, even some managers I know, like, the best managers are the ones who are really patient. Because, if you work with artists on a day-to-day basis, you already know how that go. Whether, even in podcasting, you know what I'm saying? You know how it is. Like, sometimes you might sit there and they might be super late or whatever. So it takes, like, real patient people to work with
curious, have you been
individuals.
a manager before?
Huh?
Have you been a manager
Absolutely not. You couldn't pay me to be a manager.
So it's hard. So I'm going to be honest. It's hard for me to listen to people who have not been managers to say what a manager's supposed to be patient. He can't be. Like, it's like certain things, it's certain situations that if I got money and I'm established, I could be patient with you. That's cool. But if we coming up together and you doing boo-boo the fool shit and you fucking up my paper, I cannot be patient with you. But patience, it might be what you need at that time.
Right.
I think it's
patience is a bad word. I think the right word. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think the right word. What I'm trying to get at is just maybe not patience with the artist, but just you have to have like a certain level of
patience with the process.
Patience with the I'm trying to think of the right word.
Knowing
for
what you're dealing with when you're dealing with rappers.
I think more like knowing what you're dealing with.
That's key, because we don't know what we're dealing with rappers. Go ahead,
I think because you two guys, y'all really go for it when it comes to getting the work done. So when I hear patience, I think it's really very intricate what you're meaning. It ain't just so cut and dry. We watching you work right now while the cameras is off. I'm watching him work. I'm working. So I don't think you guys are just chilling all the time. Like, you got to grab it by the bull by the horns. But I think there's certain times you be like, you know what? Let me take my foot off the gas right here. Not because I don't need to go fast. I'm cruising through this zone. But when it's time, boom, I'm going to hit that corner.
You can't put your foot on everybody's neck.
Some people don't care.
I think that was my mistake when I was younger. I was that manager that was pressing the button every moment. What you mean you tired? Come on, son. You ain't got time to be tired. We got to do this. And I did need to learn. It wasn't patience, but learning how. I always use this with something that Sylvia Rohn told me. When you're a manager, you have to also be a psychologist. You have to know what you're dealing with. And me being 25 years old, I was looking at her like a psychologist. What are you talking about? I just want to manage. I just want to make money. But you have to know the different personalities that you're dealing with. Some rappers are going to be all over the place. Some are going to be on time like 50. Always on time.
Oh, he's always on time.
There are some people that are going to come and not know how to talk on the mic. Like, they don't know how to build a relationship with Gabe.
So, I mean, what is it like you being a psychologist? Because you are the gateway, you are the ambassador, you are the person that's ushering the new artists in a very creative way in New York. And DJ Self sat right here and said, when it comes to the new music, I speak to Gabe about everything.
Right.
He even said that when it comes to all the drill dissing and all the drill rap, you broke it down like, yo, they're just rapping. It ain't that serious, you know. They're just enjoying it. So what is it like ushering that? What did it? Because the last time we were around each other, we were giving
Cups and Convos.
Yeah, we were giving relationship advice.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
oh my God, Heineken was giving relationship advice.
Yeah, I'm good
Ghost,
at it.
I know
I don't
you
think that
scared
episode
of
ever
that,
came out
Ghost.
either.
it was wild.
It never came out.
Y'all was looking at me like, this is a lunatic.
We
right
know
here.
it never came out because Heineken was giving relationship advice.
I think when it comes to these artists, because like, you know, obviously we're solely based in New York, but I make this point a lot now too, because I really want people to understand the full scope of what On The Radar is. On The Radar, so okay, I'm gonna compare it to one of the people who I look up to when it comes to platforms. Like you look at Fire in the Booth, right?
Yep.
Shout out Charlie Sloth. You know what I'm saying? Fire in the Booth is a legendary platform, right? Based in the UK, but Charlie Sloth is global, right?
Yeah, he is.
Fire in the Booth is global. Most of the Fire in the Booths that come out now are from America or even in Germany too. He also started Fire in the Booth Germany with a German host that hosts the freestyles because, you know, language barriers and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So, but at the end of the day, the heart of Fire in the Booth is UK, right? You know what I'm saying? No Jumper does all the upcoming LA talent, this and that, but they do everybody else too. They do porn stars, whatever. But at the end of the day, No Jumper, the heart of No Jumper is
West
LA,
Coast, yeah.
right? So for On The Radar, the heart of On The Radar will always be New York, right? But the full grasp of what I'm trying to do with On The Radar is, yeah, we're ushering in a lot of talent from New York, like a lot of talent from New York. But, you know, even I got my boy John in the corner who helps me with On The Radar. Even he can begin to describe to you about how On The Radar has already began to grow into more of a global brand. We just had Oxlade on the show, who is he has one of the biggest Colors performances of all time, and a huge Afrobeat artist right now, right? So what we're doing is not only am I trying to introduce people and be what you like that psychologist for these new artists, but also be that psychologist and kind of that gateway and that door and that bridge to all these different types of artists too, like in terms of, you know, Afrobeats, Spanish music, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm all about building bridges, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like here in New York, we need a platform, and in the world, we need a platform that kind of embraces everything. And that's what I'm trying to do with On The Radar. But when it comes to New York artists and kind of being the psychologist for these up and coming artists, you know, I think about when I first interviewed K-Flock, B-Love, and Dougie B, right? That was kind of like the first real big Bronx drill interview I did at the time, because I had also done Busy Banks, but obviously Busy's Brooklyn, Dusty Locane was Brooklyn, but this was like the first Bronx interview that I did. And I remember, like, at the time, like, we were all, I mean, they were just coming up quickly. Like, Brotherly Love just hit 1 million views in like a month. It was like April 2021. And I remember, like, just, you know, talking to them. And then I would see, like, okay, like, I want to make sure that, you know, just even speaking to them in the interview, I'm like, okay, these kids are young, and I want to make sure that, like, me being this position that I am in the industry and kind of coming up underneath someone like Angie Martinez, like, I want to be what she is to a lot of the artists from her generation. You know what I'm saying? Like that person that they can go talk to and, you know, can give advice and kind of be that bridge again, right? So I think when it comes to being a psychologist for a lot of these artists, you know, like they deal with a lot, you know, especially here in New York. You know, we see it every single day. We see it in the news.
What are they dealing with that is older people might not be aware of? Because sometimes they're like, oh, they're kids. What do they got to really deal with?
I feel like when you look at the music, right, because I think one of the core things is if we're just talking about drill at this moment, right, one of the core things that people say about drill is like, oh, it's this, it's that, it's violent, this, and that. But like music has always, and in hip hop, we've always had this type of violence in music. You know, I'm not saying all lanes of hip hop, but like it's just kind of a modern day gangster rap, right? Obviously, do we all have to like what some things that they're saying? No, but at some point in our life, we've all at least enjoy the drill song. Like, y'all can't say that y'all never listen to like a pop song.
Who would say that?
I'm just saying.
Don't take me. We like having fun here.
I'm just saying.
You can crack jokes too.
But that's my point is that like I think people try to criticize what these kids doing are doing too much. Like I said, I have my things that I don't like that they do. Like I don't let them say other people's names on my show. That's very specific. Like they're just not allowed to say other people's names because I kind of want, you know, I want to keep the platform as
neutral
is possible.
balanced.
But like I look at On the Radar like Switzerland for everybody in the music industry, right?
It is.
But that being said, you know, there are things that people can disagree about when it comes to drill music, and there are things that people don't like. But at the end of the day, I think it's like, you know, it's easy to just hop online and be like, yo, this sucks. This sound is trash. This new age hip hop. It's so easy for people to do that. But then if you really take a deeper look at it, like, and you go into these artist psychologies and what they've been through traumatic events in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like we recently just lost Baby. You know what I'm saying? Baby just passed away. He was from Harlem. And that comes like after another artist from Harlem was passed away, Naughty. He was 14. So how do you think that affects the people, the other artists who were around them? You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, like I said, people often criticize drill music for the content, but you know, you have people who are talking about these people who have passed away, and then so these kids, you know, they're young. So when we were young, we were hot-headed, so they're automatically going to think they have to respond. So there's a lot of other things.
He's ready to ask you a question.
No.
Okay, ask me a question.
Because we're not the type of people that are opposed to drill. If people really watch us, like, one of my biggest followings is the young crowd because I fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of the people that sit around and say, oh, why are they doing this? I'm the one that said we've been calling for rappers to be real. Now the rappers are real and doing what they rapping about. They're
and we're
doing
criticizing them.
And now we're criticizing them. I've been the one that's on record as saying that. The only problem that I've ever had with drill music, which is not a big problem, I hate that they don't rhyme on beat. That bothers me. If you're gonna be talking,
that's a clip right there.
So if you're gonna be talking some gangster shit, yo, Snoop was talking gangster.
Right.
People forget Biggie was talking gangster before he was talking fly.
Like, oh,
but
shit.
Everybody was on beat. The reason why I feel like Pop Smoke was that guy with the drill is because Pop Smoke
was rapping on beat.
Was on beat.
Harmony.
That's why Pop Smoke was lit with the drill. He wasn't just coming off beat, on beat, going crazy, because then he would have had the drill people, but he wouldn't have been out to the masses. Just do it on beat. That's it.
Right.
Like, that's my only problem with it. You know what I mean?
Do you give like advice to them? Like, yo, you know, you guys got a chance to really elevate in hip hop, chill with the extra going hard with the violence, because you're that voice for them.
Right.
They're listening to you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to assume that they are. I can see that they listen to you. And I feel like you can, like, you know, shift the culture of the drill community to whereas we don't got to be rah-rah. Just put out dope music. And like Esso said.
A lot of pressure on him.
No, what not?
You want this man to shift the drill culture by himself?
Yes.
Whoa.
Wait, I'll talk about it. Hold on. And then because my land. Yo, John, can you do me a big ass favor, bro? We want to get the heat fixed in the building, right?
He over there?
Yeah, can you hold on.
See, this is real work right here.
That's why I didn't want to interrupt, but hold on.
No, go for it. This is authentic.
This is part of the podcast life.
No problem.
Boom. We're working while working and working.
Let's talk about New York City landlords.
Let's talk about it.
We'll talk about it in a second. Yo, here. If Hershey calls her WhatsApp or hits me on WhatsApp, you'll see it. Sorry about that, guys. All right, but I want to answer that.
Yes.
I do try to talk to them because here's what I tell them, right? Because I say, look, you guys want to become the biggest artist in the world, right? At the end of the day, your goal as an artist, well, not everybody's goal as an artist, but these kids, they want to make it out the hood. They want to become big artists. Literally, the blueprint has been created for you already. Pop Smoke literally did this, right? You know? And what I'm trying to tell them is like, look, if you look at some of the biggest drill records that came out of New York, right? You think about, you think Pop, because Pop had Welcome to the Party, Dior, Ice Spice now with Munch and Bikini Bottom. CJ had Whoop-Dee, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these records weren't just, like, they're not diss records, right? They're records that can work in New York and can work on the West Coast and can be party records at the same time. So what I try to tell them, I'm like, look, like, I'm not going to tell you guys to stop doing what you're doing because I understand, like, if you feel the need to respond. I'm not like that. I'm very much just like, yo, a wise man once said nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? And a wise man once said nothing at all. But I get it because when you're young and, you know what I'm saying? Like, if me and my man's is out, right, and I leave my man's and he gets jumped, right? Now I'm going to be like, all right, we got to do something about this, right? So I get when I was young, I'm not saying I had that same mentality as them, but I understand that mentality because, again, at the end of the day, they're young. So they're not fully, like, you know what I'm saying?
Their frontal lobe is not developed.
And they're not as mature yet to understand certain things about life, about the world. Like, they haven't experienced things that would really take them to a certain level that they would be like, that is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you see a lot of older artists, now that, you know, they're in their 30s, 40s, whatever, they're like, wow, what we were doing back then was really dumb. But that's because they've grown and, you know, they've gotten to exist and kind of enjoy the fruits of their labor as an artist and seeing what really matters in this world. So that being said, what I try to tell them, like, look, I get why y'all got to do what y'all do, but I'm telling y'all, like, if you guys really want to make it as an artist, Pop laid the blueprint for you. Literally, it's right there, right?
Right there.
It might not work for everybody, right?
It ain't gonna work for everybody.
Not every builder can follow a blueprint exactly, right?
But they said only 10% of the people that set out to rap actually become rappers.
Right. But at the end of the day, the blueprint's still there. You know what I'm saying? There are.
That blueprint is tough though, Gabe. Pop Smoke was a star, period.
Of course.
And star power is a big deal. And he could really rhyme, period.
But star power is also on the blueprint, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you also have to, like, create that star power, too, at the end of the day. Some people born with it, some people can, you know, create it, but...
They buy it.
They buy it, too.
Okay.
But I think at the end of the day, it's like, look, diss records don't get you further than New York. And that's what I try to tell them. I'm like, look, this is cool, like, but
that's
like...
very true.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Unless you're dissing somebody that's so big, but on,
on
the level that they're dissing, he's right. It's just gonna stay at home.
Yeah, unless somebody's coming for Young Boy, you know what I'm saying? But even then, people don't, you know, if it's a New York artist dissing Young Boy, like, unless it's like a big artist, nobody's gonna care. But that's why I try to tell them, because I'm sure, think about it, we're all here in New York, but I'm sure there are Chicago diss records, UK diss records that never touched our ears because
they're local.
They're local. They don't mean anything to us. And honestly, I try to tell them, like, look, do what you gotta do, right? But at the end of the day, like, you gotta think long term, right? Because right now you're thinking in the moment, you're thinking it's hot. You're thinking that you're getting a lot of views on certain videos, right? And this doesn't even go for just drill. This goes for any artist. Like, if you're getting too many views too quick, you're gonna start to get hot headed. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I'm this, I'm that. But like, the quicker the rise, the harder the fall. You feel me?
Usually when you rise quick, you fall quick. It ain't too many people that rise fast and actually stay there for a long time. It's
very rare.
It's few and far in between.
Yep.
But how do you look at running your studio? Because you got your own studio now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about your whole process, because you got freestyles coming out of there. You probably booking stuff.
Interviews.
What's your process of just running your studio life?
Yeah, the whole business, the YouTube, everything. Man.
So for On the Radar, with this new studio that we got, you know, you'd be shocked to, like, if I told you, like, John, would you say that, like, the majority of artists coming in are, like, mostly not from New York nowadays?
Right now,
yeah. I'll say the majority of artists coming in aren't from New York nowadays, which is kind of crazy.
Are you saying they're not hungry enough?
I'm not saying New York artists aren't hungry enough. I'm just saying that, like...
Or maybe they're arrogant, like, he's supposed to call me.
Nah, maybe he's just blowing up.
No, listen to what I'm saying.
I think it's more that.
No, listen to what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
The out-of-town artists, they're hitting you up, right?
Yeah, PRs, labels.
The New York ones, are they hitting up at the same frequency?
I think that they're hitting up at
or am
more...
I bugging?
They hit my DM frequently.
Okay, then I'm bugging then.
This is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't look at my DMs anymore. DMs are a nasty place. I don't like going there no more. I'm gonna be honest.
What do you mean nasty? In what way? You got too many.
I'm gonna say this. I think that artists, especially, like, you know, I'm sure if you asked Adam 22 this question a couple years ago, he might say the same thing, right? Because he's out in LA. But artists from your city feel entitled to your time, right? They feel entitled to be on the platform. They feel entitled to this. And I just had a showcase last night. So this is what I tell artists when they come up to me in showcases that I host, right? They'll be like, how do I get on the platform? I'll be like, you gotta have motion, you gotta be moving, you gotta make me wanna, like, have you up. And they're like, oh, but I have X million, I have like 100,000 views on a video. They'll show me the video. I'll be like, bro, you got 100,000 views on a video, you got 31 comments. I know you bought those views. Next. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I also...
Is 100,000 views good enough? Like, say they was real views, would that be good enough?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even need 100,000 views. Sometimes I'll bring people on for less, but I like seeing real, authentic views. You know what I'm saying? And what people don't know or realize that I worked in digital media for the past 6 years. Like, I just left my job at Power 105. I'm still on air at Power 105.1, but I left my social media job there in August, right?
I remember that's how we met when we spoke about with Charlemagne and the comic book show and everything.
Yep. So I left that job. I'm still at Power, though. It was just that full-time job that I left to do On the Radar. But people forget that like I know what fake views look like. I know what real views look like. I know what fake followers look like. I know. So it's like you can't really get shit past me. So it's not that they're hitting me up in a big frequency, but it's just that like it's just not a lot of it's not moving the needle for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, and what I tell artists is that when they come up to me at these showcases, I'm like, look, on the radar, being a New York artist, it only works for you if you work to be on the show, right? It's not gonna work for you. And I've shown people like, so I brought somebody up who's been complaining before in my DMs, right? I was like, watch this, right? I put them on the show. It was like maybe early this year, last year, and it did nothing for them. And I'm like, you rushed, and now you blew it. It's the same way like if people want to go up on Flex, right? You don't want to, you don't want to blow your load too fast.
I be trying to tell them, but they don't listen, Gabe. They just want to be on that radio.
But you know why?
Friends and their cousins can be like, "Yo, Flex dropped the bomb on it." When I say, "But they only gonna play it for 3 days."
Not even that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you need to have more time in circulation for people to feel you, to understand your vibe, to catch your vibe. That's very important. And people are so quick to shoot their load in every situation.
You know why, right?
Because of that thing that Gabe mentioned. They don't have patience.
I was
with
gonna
their
say
own career. Now, instead of the manager having patience, the artist needs to have patience with their career. Because they all think that I got a hot record, this is gonna be a hit. They don't understand promo. They don't understand marketing. They don't understand that what Gabe does is all promotion and marketing for the artist.
Yeah.
They don't get that. They just see it as a freestyle platform and people can see it and they're not using it like Gabe is saying. Wait till you're ready. It's going to make my platform better. It's going to make your shit better. And we're all going to come together with timing. Timing in this business is everything.
It's essential.
Keyword timing, yeah. That's what I tell them. I'm like, look, I had G Herbo yesterday, right? I'm trying to make On the Radar the perfect platform that has, and so other platforms have done this very well too, like From the Block, shout out my brother Zay. He be killing it. But like, blending the up and coming and artist who's hot in any genre type shit. But I'm like, look, I just had G Herbo on the show the other day, right? It's like, Polo G is gonna come do a freestyle from me. What makes you good enough to be on the same platform as them, right? And that's not me being disrespectful. That's just me being like, have you earned the spot on this platform yet?
Yeah, you're making your platform special.
Yeah, and there are certain artists who are quote unquote like up and coming who I've taken chances with, right? But that's because like I've really seen something in them. You know what I'm saying? Like shout out free my boy Veli Vels, right? Veli Vels is a incredible drill rapper from I won't even say he's a drill rapper. He could rap. Veli Vels is a rapper from Yonkers, right? Came on my platform a year ago, just kind of with a friend. I was like, I was pretty much just filming whatever freestyles came through that door, right? Did an acapella freestyle on the spot. It was cool. It did like 11K on YouTube. And then he came back in September, like before he got locked up. He did this freestyle for us. And that freestyle transcended anything that he would have thought it would. Unfortunately, he didn't get to, he's not able to enjoy it because he's locked up right now. But it did 1 million+ views on IG Reels. Probably did a couple 100,000 on TikTok and about 200,000 to 300,000 right now on YouTube. But that was one of those cases where he kind of earned it because he's been working this past year for it. He's like, Gabe, I'm going to come back and I'm going to kill it. And I was a little like, I wasn't sure at first, but he was one of the first artists to really freestyle on the platform. So I'm like, you know what? I like you. You rap really well. I think you're going to kill this. And then it became this viral freestyle overnight. Like people from the West Coast were playing it. People from down south were sending it to me. So I was like, oh, damn. But going back to what you're saying, timing is everything. And I think, if you blow your load too fast in this industry, you're going to miss your chance. Because there is, for a lot of artists, there's a small window, right? And if you take that window and you are able to open that door, you're good. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of people just like, on that highway when they're trying to get there, they get off the exit too quickly. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, like their exit's telling them exit 21. They're like, oh shit, but exit 20 got, exit 20 got the strip club on the side. Exit 20 got exit 20 got
that's me.
Exit 20 got
I'm not
the
gonna lie to
good
you.
and all this shit.
And I'm looking over at Heineken and be like, no, let's just keep going. Let's stay on course.
And then exit 21 got the mansions. Exit 21 got the got the private rooms.
Exactly.
That sound like Brighton Beach.
Yeah.
Brighton Beach, and if you go further, you in Coney Island. You know what I'm saying?
You make it with a Far Rock a little bit.
What was it like when Drake spoke about the platform. What was the energy shift like? Because when I saw that, I was like, my man Gabe is cooking. I remember I saw when you started it from scratch.
Yeah.
And people were like looking and like, whatever. And you kept building it and you built it fast. It seemed, like it happened quicker than that, but I know it took a time. But like when Drake gave that cosign, what was the energy like, man?
Well, fun fact, Drake wasn't the first Young Money artist to cosign me. It was actually Nicki was the first.
Nicki?
Yeah, so
Queens, he's a Queens person.
Big Queens, right? But first of all, with Nicki, like the quick story behind Nicki is back in Rolling Loud 2019, I did an interview with Malibu Mitch, right?
Salute to, I know.
Shout out Malibu. And
I got a crazy story with her.
Really?
Yeah.
I will hear that second. But with Malibu, I don't know, everybody was talking about their top 5 list at the time. It was like one of those hot topics on Twitter, right? So I was asking every artist their top 5, right? And I asked her top 5 female MCs in the game, right? And like she bigged up Nicki in this interview. Mind you, this was just like an on-camera interview, like nothing crazy. And I go on vacation a week later, and like I'm like literally sitting at the bar drinking, eating nachos with my ex, and my phone's just like, and I'm like, yo,
the heart attack. It's called the heart attack.
Yeah, the heart attack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, what happened at work? Like I thought something happened with Power. And then everybody's just calling me like, yo, Nicki. So Nicki had posted the interview on her Twitter, which I thought was super dope. So shout out to Nicki. But with Drake, man, that shit was just incredible. A couple of our freestyles before then had been played on OVO Sound. Shout out Go Home Roger and on Oliver on that one. But it hadn't been up until that point, right? So I knew Drake was tapped in. Like Drake had liked one of the posts of AJ Tracy. When AJ Tracy from the UK came over, he liked that one. That was over at Jersey Club B. So I knew he's been watching, but I didn't know to what extent. And then with the Ice Spice thing, Ice Spice didn't even tell me too. And so like I'm literally like, I peep on the gram and I text her. I said, sis, what the fuck? I'm like, what? I'm like, why didn't you send this to me? And she's like, oh, my bad. But I saw that, and I was at the radio station that night, and I went stupid. I ain't gonna lie.
As you should.
I had a night that night. But yeah, shout out Drake, man. They still play a couple of our freestyles on OVO Sound Radio. They not just playing the New York ones. They played CEO Trail. They played Real Boston Richie, who was really like one of the hottest artists out of Florida right now. But that Drake cosign was crazy, man. So shout out to Drizzy for that, man. I appreciate the love. Hopefully one day. Everybody keeps saying it's gonna happen one day.
What you think's gonna on the radar Drizzy freestyle?
Yeah, everybody keeps telling me it's gonna happen one day, and I just I'm like, you know what? Don't speak it to me, speak it into the universe, because words are powerful. But I don't want.
Let me show you how this is gonna work. On the radar freestyle with Drizzy, hosted by Esso and Heineken in the cut, and it's gonna be in Toronto.
This motherfucker's smart. What's that? But yo, let me ask you something.
Good.
What's the pressure like now? Because now it's simple when you just dropping freestyles and people coming through. Now people want to be on your platform. I mean, we're experiencing it too. Your DM is going crazy.
Yeah.
What's the pressure like?
I mean,
because they on our head. Pause about getting on every show that we got. The one I got with Clue. They want to do solo shit with him. They want Space Ghost. They all on our head. Yeah. So tell me what it's like just for yourself.
I mean, obviously, like everybody want to come on the radar, but I think I forgot who it was I was talking. I think it was Flo Milli. I have a Flo Milli interview that's not out yet. But me and her had a great conversation about mental health, and I think one of the most important parts about mental health is like you got to keep your sanity in this game, right? Right. That's first and foremost. And for me, with the pressure. There's a lot of pressure on me now because now it's like, okay, On the Radar is on its way to become one of the biggest platforms in the world, one of the biggest music platforms in the world. Drake, Nicki, Meek, Lil Baby, all these people commenting under our videos, and that's great. But to be completely honest with you, bro, I don't even really be thinking about it on a day-to-day basis. And I think the reason for it is just because like the way that I operate, and like, John can attest to this too, I'm really just always on go mode. Like for me, it's like, I don't really take the time to think about things like that. Like I see it and I fully understand the pressure that's on me right now, but I'm just like, look, if I really sit down and like think about the pressure, then it might get to me. So fuck that. I'm just gonna keep going.
That's how I feel.
I'm just gonna keep going. Cause if I stop, then I might get stagnant. And I think I'm gonna address something real quick.
Go for it.
All you motherfuckers that be in my comments talking about, they let anybody up there. Stop. Because you just mad that you not up there, right? I'm sick of hearing that shit like that, right? Because being said, like, it's a rap platform at the end of the day, right? So people love to just hop online. Negative news spreads quicker than positive news.
All day.
But people love to just comment under people's shit like, oh, you let anybody up here. Oh, anybody can get on the radar. No. If somebody's on the radar, it's because they deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I got the call. I got the call from Young Money a couple days after that incredible Bars on I-95 cipher came out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe P. I'm like, that kid went crazy. I'm bringing him on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
And people might hate on him because he's a white rapper, and they'll be like, "Oh, they let anybody up here."
He had he had some bars on that cipher though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he did, and that's why I was like, I like this kid. I'm gonna bring him up. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who he is.
You know, people, it's jealousy too, because it's
jealousy. That's what it is.
And they're thinking the entitlement. He's supposed to reach out to me. What do I look like saying, "Hey, Gabe," when I'm gonna be up there? You know, that New York ego or that tri-state area ego is really ingrained.
You gotta have it though.
What you mean when you say that?
You gotta have it in these 23 million people. New York City is a different beast. All right, being able to control it is the difference. But you gotta have that within you
the
in order for us
audacity
to keep going. God bless the dead. Hovain had to have it.
Yeah.
Facts.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe, you gotta have it. Mm-hmm. I know you got it. I know Clue is one of my best friends. Clue got
Clue
it.
Definitely got it.
Buster got it. Space Ghost got
John.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Space Ghost be working too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got to.
He doesn't know that he's famous.
You are famous, bro.
So,
Yo, who did you do projects with this year? Come on, let's talk about it.
He don't want to talk about it.
You see? Yeah, you see?
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to You famous now. Sorry, bro.
I told you.
But we tell him, but you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing that I think is having people like us thrive, is that we know that our names are growing, but our drive it just gets bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the more and more I get, I'm more and more blessed as I go. You know what I'm saying? So my head is not getting, if anything, my head when I was younger was up here when I was making tons of money in the music business in 05 and 04 and stuff like that. But now after you got to go through things, you got to fight your way back to where you really should be at. I'm going to say should be at.
Yeah.
You understand that you're blessed, and it's being humble is a part of that. And I think that's what people, when they see us in public, they're surprised by how humble and chill that we are and blessed that we feel about the position we in.
The one thing I want to say to Gabe is when I heard Self said this, and you're supremely young.
I haven't seen this clip. It's not out yet.
No, it's not out.
Okay. It's coming out soon.
You're supremely young. People don't know because we spoke.
How old do you think I am?
I don't know. I don't guess people age.
How old do you think I am?
He's young too. No way.
I'm 38. You just doing that just to be funny, right? Yeah.
But
I take back what I take all the nice things I said about you back.
25.
All the projects is horrible. Nah, I'm playing. Huh?
25.
I'm 26.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 26.
But what I'm going to say is, right, and this is going to sound ridiculous, still have young people around you. And the reason why I'm going to say that, how you're going with all the young artists, that's how I came up with when I was doing all the interviews. And every interview I did hit with people that people didn't know. So when I'm watching you, I'm like, this guy got the wave right now. But the tricky part about this game, something always shift out of nowhere. Where you're no longer hitting the same way. You'll never know unless you got somebody young around you. That's why when Self said that, I'm like, Self, no, he need this guy to keep him, really in tune.
Right.
And for you, I think however you're doing the business right now, in 2-3 years, there's going to be a weird shift. And you'll be like, what the
I'm ready for the shift. You want to know why?
Enlighten me.
Because whenever an artist leaves my studio, I'll be like, yo, send me who you think is hot next. You know what I'm saying? I think I caught a wave early this year. Shout out my guy, Wolfface Joe. He's an artist at Staten Island, incredible artist. He was kind of, I've always been a big underground scene head, right? So I come from like that era of Lil Uzi Vert and all them in college. That's what I was listening to in college, right? SoundCloud music, right? Like Smoke Perp, all of them was like...
That was an era.
That was an era.
That was an ill era.
It was a fun era. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was tweaking in those mosh pits. But the point of the matter is like that was that era in college that I was listening to. And I brought this kid Wolfface on the show because one of the younger people who works around on my show, he's like, yo, you should check out this kid Wolf. And at the time, he didn't have that many followers, but I liked his music. So I reached out and we brought him on the show. And he did a freestyle that went viral, right? So me and Wolf built this relationship. And I was like, yo, Wolf, like, I really been wanting to connect with the underground scene, like the underground SoundCloud scene right now, because I think that y'all are really moving it. Because there are artists in that underground SoundCloud scene who are signed, so they're already kind of up there, like Tekka, Young Chris, Cash Dami, whatever. They're already signed already. But there's other ones too. So I was like, yo, put me on. Sends me like 20 profiles. I think probably I put like 15 to 20 of those people on my show already. And here's the thing, all those people already liked my show. They already watched On the Radar. So when I DM them, they're like, yo, we love On the Radar. We didn't know that you would have us on the show. I'm like, man, fuck that. Come on the show. Yeah, I like y'all. We had this one kid, Rio Vaz, who is one of the most out of left field freestyles that we ever did. He's from Jersey City. He makes hyperpop music. But he's part of that same community with all these other guys, right? And his freestyle did like 120K on YouTube. And it was a dope moment for us because it showed that we do so much more than just hip hop. And that's why I always tell people, you know, even yesterday I was hanging out with Diamond Cuts from Philly, and you know, I've had a lot of Philly artists on my show, and I'm like, yo, Diamond, like, whoever you think is next up, like, send them to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me watch them. Let me see what goes on, and then we can work from there. And I've kind of always taken that approach with at least this last 2 years I've done On the Radar to kind of continue to foster new talent. You know what I'm saying? It's always like, all right, cool, I did this person. Cool, who's next? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep that relevancy.
What was your plan to excel, being that it's a lot of people doing these freestyle platforms now? A lot of people. So what was your plan to stand out from them?
Well, okay, so there are already like a lot of really dope frees. Obviously the big ones, you know what I'm saying? You think of Flex, LA Leakers, Bars on 995. I don't want to miss it. Aze, even though that's more performance, but I always shout out Zay because Zay started the hanging mic thing, so I always gotta give him his flowers for that. Trying to think what other freestyle platform there is that's like that. Well, I think like the first thing is that, you know, younger artists. I think that's the first and the foremost thing is that, you know, not all these artists who I have on my show you would see on some of these bigger platforms. Some you do, some go up there, like Young Devin, and Young Devin just did Flex. But I wanted to create something that, you know, people weren't ready for, because I think it kind of goes back to what you said, that like, you know, sometimes people aren't looking at these artists yet. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not at the Pop Smoke level or the Fabio level, or you know, in a West Coast sense, they're not at, you know, a Draco the Ruler level yet, right? Just kind of, you know, add some diversity to the flair there. But these artists, they're putting up views, and I think you have to catch them at a certain moment, because it's kind of like the way how I'm trying to use a good example, like early on in their career, you want to catch like you could say like the Pop Smoke Fire in the Booth freestyle, or the Pop Smoke Leakers freestyle, or the Pop Smoke, I think he did a freestyle on Real 92. Any of those freestyles, that was early on in his career, and they blew up because it was early on in his career. He was buzzing, he was big, but he wasn't there yet. So I think it's like you got to catch them at the time, and I think that's kind of like the fault that like a lot of platforms, they don't always think that. They kind of wait till they're at a certain level to bring them on the show. They wait till they're already like they're already kind of blown up. But what I learned early in my career doing On the Radar is that, you know, when I first started, I was doing Zoom interviews. I was interviewing some bigger artists on Zoom, right? But they weren't bringing me a lot of views, and I'm like, why are they bringing me views on my channel? And I was like, wait a second, that's because everybody else already interviewed them. So nobody's going to give a shit about Gabe's interview with them, because nobody knows Gabe yet. So Gabe can still interview these people, but Gabe also has to foster a fan base of other people that will then like him and his interviews and his freestyles, whatever, and then start watching all of them. So like you'll watch a Wolfface Joey interview and freestyle, but then I could also have Herbo on the platform, and Herbo's interview does like 200-300K. You know what I'm saying?
So it trickles down.
But I had to kind of reevaluate.
You had to reevaluate your strategy.
Yeah.
I've noticed the interviews coming out more, and you're really comfortable in how you interact and having fun. Like, do you take any pieces of being around with Charlamagne from that? How did he help your career? Because people don't know, like, y'all did a lot of content together.
Right. Charlamagne definitely in like a podcast sense. I feel like Charlamagne helped me get more comfortable doing podcasts when we were doing Comic Kings together. I would say in an interview sense, right? Angie. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think what a lot of people know And I've told this story a million times, but I don't think I've told it too many times on camera. So when I was 19, I was at St. John's. So I worked at the radio station at WSJU along with Nyla Simone.
I'm about to say, was Nyla there with you? Because she went to St. John's.
Yeah. So this is how the story broke down. So at the time, me and Nyla were both doing interviews at the time. And then me being from New York, my homegirl, she was like, yo, I got Angie coming she's doing her book tour here. Can you do the interview, right? And I'm like, I remember when I used to be in my aunt's car driving around the Bronx listening to Angie. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do this interview. And so they were like, who can you have to be the co-host with you? And I was like, and at the time, I was like, I need Ramel and Nyla, right? Ramel actually works at Republic Records now, but he was out of town at the time. So I'm like, Nyla, I called Nyla, like, do you want to interview Angie? She's like, hell yeah, I want to interview Angie. So we interviewed Angie together. And mind you, both of us had applied for Power 105 at the time, like multiple times, and we got rejected. I got rejected from that internship like 5 times. And so we interviewed her, and she's like, I like y'all. And then she told her assistant to get our contacts, and she's like, apply for that position again. And then, lo and behold, 2 months later, we applied for the position, and we were working there. So I've been at Power 105 since I was 19 years old. And I just stayed there this whole time. And same with Nyla, you know what I'm saying? Nyla got on air, I'm trying to think about what year. I got on air last year, so that was 2021. So I think she was like 2019 or 2018, I think is when she started doing on air. But yeah, so St. John's strong in that. But that's how we kind of came up. And then I was also sitting on all of Angie's interviews. I was there for the Tekashi 6ix9ine interview. I was there for the Pop Smoke interview. I was there. I've been there. I'm trying to think who else I've been there for. I've been there for a lot of the big ones over the past 5 or 6 years. Like anything that's like the biggest interviews that she's done, I was in the background taking interview notes because that was my job. And I just sat there and I just soaked up the game. And then even now, like even talking to Angie, I would talk to Angie when I was doing my interviews and things like that, and she would give me like, advice or about the industry, things like that. So a lot of my interview style, if you watch my interviews, I even catch myself sometimes. I'm like, damn, that's something Angie would say. You know what I'm saying? Or that I catch that. Like, I'm not trying to be like Angie, but I do. It's like you hang around somebody.
You got to surround yourself with greatness.
Exactly.
If you want to be great. You surround yourself with legends if you want to become one.
Exactly. So
that's just what it is. You're just lucky enough to be blessed into the position that you have and had a chance to learn from some of the best to do it in the biggest city in the entire world.
And being Puerto Rican too, and her being Puerto Rican is just like, that's a blessing.
Come on, bro. That's the link. What are you talking about? That ain't the blessing. That's the fucking link.
Oh, well, that's the link.
Everybody know Puerto Rican and Spanish people stick together.
Especially in hip-hop.
We know that.
Especially in hip-hop. I'm not mad at that.
He said Puerto Rico. I said, there it is. They gonna stick together. And you from the Bronx, right?
No, I got family from the Bronx. I'm from Queens originally.
You ain't know?
Queens and Long Island. Queens and Long Island.
You know what I'm saying?
What part of Queens you from, yeah?
Hillside Ave and Parsons.
Oh, he on the north side.
Oh, up there.
Yeah. And then Long Island. I did early years it was in Queens. Then I did most of my school out in Long Island. And then I moved back to Queens because I went to St. John's.
That's all that matters.
So I was like,
he in the area.
Queens get the money. That's all that matters.
My mom's is from Bedside. My dad is from the South Bronx.
So you got the whole New York. You got the hip hop stream.
I got one more question on my end.
Good.
Because you was talking about independent artists, but you was like they're signed. Why is it such a badge of honor to say you're independent even when you're signed? There's a lot of independent artists that's like, yeah, I'm independent, but they're secretly signed.
That ain't no badge of honor.
I don't think it's a badge of honor.
No, there's some people
I'm gonna tell you why they do
lying
it.
about that shit.
I'm gonna tell you why they do it. Because if you tell them that you're with a label, it costs money now. Now they think you got money. But if you're doing it on your own, if you're doing, and your labels will tell you, don't tell them you're signed because that'll change everything. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell them because Gabe, if I know that you signed to the label, I think you must have got an advance, right?
Oh, you got money now, huh?
You got money now.
You got money now.
You know what I'm saying? But
why you ain't coming back home? Why you come back to the hood?
But you could come in here with the biggest drug dealer with the most money. And we'll still look at them and say, yo, they're not funded by the bank, by the label. So maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is organic. Duh.
What female rapper you think is about to have a great breakout 2023? Because you've had a lot of them.
I know, we have so many, bro. Well, I'm gonna give you a few different ones, right? Let me do this, because this is what I've been, because so I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna just, before I get to that, I'm gonna tell you this right now. We're bringing the show on tour, right? Woo! So kind of like, heavily inspired by what Aze does, because I always mention my brother's name, because I think you gotta give people their flowers when they inspire you. We're gonna do freestyles in other states, right?
What's the first city?
Right now we're thinking Memphis, right?
That's a good spot.
Now
to
let me
start.
tell you why.
It's different too.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let me
I'm
tell
not
you
mad
why.
at it. I'm just.
It's a lot of music coming out of Memphis right now,
Bingo.
bro.
I'm gonna keep it a bug with you, bro. I don't know about when this airs, but I think the week before Christmas, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load the clip of 10 plus Memphis freestyles that we have. I need you to understand right now that Memphis is about to become our second biggest market. So originally it's like South Africa is kind of our second biggest market right now, the UK, and then Florida, and then Memphis. But right now I think Memphis is about to become the next biggest market because so we just had all of Gucci's artists up on my show, all the new 1017 kids. We had a bunch of people from like Endless and Bread Gang, which is Moneybag Yo.
Yeah.
I've had like AR the Mermaid, Big Folk. There are a ton of people out in Memphis. So we're bringing the show on the road. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we want to become a global show. We want to do more of that. We're staying in New York. We're not going nowhere. The show's not leaving New York. We're just gonna go.
You're expanding.
We're just
the
gonna go
brand.
there for a little bit, for like a week or two, and record. Right.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? We got some great people that we're gonna partner up with over there. Like we're gonna partner up with like Sunny Digital in Atlanta, Take Heath in Memphis.
I fuck with Sunny Digital. Yeah.
Hopefully, we're gonna talk to like Zoe Dollars in Miami.
Oh, Zoe with the bulletproof business trucks, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great transition.
Maybe have some of his trucks in the vids too.
Listen, we'll fly down there. We'll shoot a couple of guns
Look,
at
look,
the villa. Come on.
I can't get this motherfucker to fly nowhere, but he's talking about we're gonna fly down there.
Oh, the radar going there? Oh, we gotta go there too.
I'll be like, yo, Esso, give me the banana clip. And Gabe like,
I don't got no banana clip. I don't know what he talking
I don't know
about.
what we talking about.
I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant.
But yeah, I mean, so the reason why I bring up what we're doing in these different cities and different states and whatnot is because from right now, I see, first of all, we already know right now that women are running shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No questions asked. If we talk in New York, obviously we know Ice Spice had an incredible year. Ice Spice is going to continue to have an incredible year. I keep telling people, do not doubt her. Do not, I told them this months ago too. Like when she first came out, I'm like, look, everybody's like, oh, she making like, sexy, provocative drill. I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? She's doing something a little different than everybody else. Watch what happens. Boom, right? Sexy drill, right? Sexy drill. But I would say like female wise, Maya the Don, Telfie right now going crazy.
I seen Maya the Don.
Maya the Don is incredible. She has a great personality too. Star power. What we talking about? You got to have good personality in this shit.
She cooking, yo.
Cooking. And then of course, like from the day I first met this girl, right? I knew she was a star. We did an interview last July 2021, and back then, Don't Play With It just came out. Lola Brooke, Don't Play With It just came out. It was out for maybe 2 months. And I was like, wait on it. I'm like, this girl, if you ever met Lola Brooke, if you ever had the pleasure of getting to even, speak to her, she got the best energy in the world.
She's feisty.
I only met her one time, but somebody's supposed to have her sit down with us. I can't remember who it was.
You got to do it. She has a great energy. She's incredible. So that's New York. That's what I'm thinking about for New York right now. For like Memphis, right? Gloss Up is going crazy. She's Glorilla's friend.
Yeah,
She's
I know
fire.
about Gloss Up.
Gloss Up. She just got added to Rolling Loud, LA.
Is that the one to sign the quality control?
Did she sign the quality control? Yeah, she just signed the quality control.
I told you I'm on the streets, God.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell him I'm on the streets, God.
Yeah, we outside
he
differently.
He don't know. I'm just letting you do your thing because that's your lane, but I'm on the streets.
And shouts out to your man. He's working the whole time while paying attention to the interview. He got 3 phones going.
He has my phone. That's why.
Man, listen. I'm not mad. I love it, yo.
Who else was I gonna say? AR the Mermaid. AR the Mermaid from Memphis.
Yeah.
You know her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What you want to do?
I know about
because we got sticks.
We like the young energy.
The thing about Memphis
is ill.
because me and Clue just talked to Finesse 2 times.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so
yep.
Finesse 2 times and Clue was in a party together, and they was explaining how everybody from Memphis is just cheering each other on when every record comes out. It's a different vibe. It's like an Atlanta vibe out in Memphis right now. So he put us on to it's a lot of female rappers, a lot of music, a lot of male rappers coming out of Memphis. It's a new hub. They understand the business out there now. They see in the country, which I'm about to wrap up. You know what I'm saying? I understand that in places where they didn't have a lot of music knocking, they didn't really understand the business. Right. But now they got somebody like Yo Gotti who's bringing the business because Glorilla told her story how the labels didn't really understand her. But Yo Gotti understood her. And you need people out there that have the power to understand the music. So I think that they're the next hub where everybody's gonna be going is gonna be Memphis, Tennessee.
I agree. That. Yeah, I think Memphis has got it. There's a girl right now, Tia Karim from North Carolina, got a song called Freaky T out right now. on our platform, the video from our platform, it did 1 million views on IG Reels and TikTok.
I love it.
You gotta check her out. She's super fire.
I'm on it. Send me all of them.
Duke Deuce is in the video,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to think who else I like out of the West Coast right now. I really love this girl Incognita. She's signed to Issa Rae's Atlantic.
Incognita
Incognita is her name. She signed to Issa Rae's Atlantic. I forgot what the exact
I
name
thought
of
Issa Rae didn't fuck with music no more. She said she hates the music business.
No, she has a label, and the imprint is under Atlantic, and Incognita is with them.
I got you.
She's fire. Little Kayla from the Bay Area. She's super tough. So there's like a lot of dope, different, and each woman who I've named so far, they all make a different style of hip hop.
I like that.
None of these women make the exact same type.
They don't
of music.
clash.
And that's why I think that women are running the game. So I'm trying to think if there's any other female artists who I've had on the show recently. Huh? Philly. Oh, you want me? Yeah. Shout out Mac Monroe. Mac Monroe from Philly. She's killing it.
We just had up there.
Who?
Right?
Brat. Oh, Big Brat. Big Brat she just signed to 21 Savage and Metro Boomin.
I know about Big Brat.
Yeah, she from
I know about Big Brat.
Tennessee. She's from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I know about Big Brat.
Chattanooga.
Too. Yeah, she had a lot of fire around her. We got to do this again, though, Gabe. We didn't have enough time.
I know. I'm sorry.
No. We got another.
person.
Your
coming
homegirl
in.
here.
Who?
Connie Diamond.
Connie Diamond in the other room.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
shit.
about to come in right now, but we didn't have enough time. We definitely got to do this again. Maybe we can come over to your studio.
Yeah,
and we
let's do it.
And go so we can come film and do part 2 over at your spot, and we can get it going.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of. Who have I had on my show from that you've done projects with this year?
He don't
know. Okay, no.
He really don't be giving a fuck.
We'll talk after.
On the radar, BagFuel. Please believe it. We just starting out. I'm in the streets with Heineken and Gabe.
Mr. Step In, Step Out. Don't get stepped on. Word of my brother Hoodfly Mike, Queens, Long Island, on the radar radio, Pound 5.1. BagFuel. We in the building. Bah!
Queens.
I'm done.
Gotta take some photos.
My bad. I like talking.
No.